Swansea, the city of uh, Joe's Ice Cream, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, and there's the Gower, of course. How could anybody forget about that? Okay, hang on a minute. Look, the Gower is technically within the jurisdiction of Swansea City Council, but as far as I'm concerned, that's an arbitrary boundary. Swansea is a city, an urban place. The Gower is rural, so I would hesitate to count them as the same thing. If we accept this distinction, then, it seems strange that one of the best things about Swansea isn't really in Swansea. To be clear, I have nothing against the Gower, it's a nice place. My problem here is that there should be more going on within the city itself. In an ideal world, Swansea would be a place with its own unique vibe, lots of small shops, memorable streets, and generally filled with life. It is, after all, a city of roughly 240,000 people. Unfortunately, this isn't the case. If I'm being honest, Swansea's pretty dead. You'd be hard pressed to find many people who would list it as their dream holiday destination. Why? Well, it's all about urban design. The way that the streets are laid out, where there's parking, where there isn't, so on and so forth. A lot of people don't think about these things. It might seem like urban environments just are the way they are, but the reality is that more than any other type of environment, these are places designed and constructed by us. If you're already familiar with basic urban design concepts, then this video is not going to be revolutionary. I intend to make a series of videos exploring urban design as it applies to Swansea, but first, I want everyone to be on the same page. Later on, if I say something like adding a bike lane here would be good because it encourages people to cycle, there's an assumption there that more people cycling is inherently good, and it is, but I don't want to have to explain why every time I bring it up. This video is essentially going to be me introducing the basics of urban design and applying them to a couple of Swansea specific examples. The core argument here goes like this. First, cars are space inefficient. The average UK car is roughly 4.4 metres long and carries, on average, a maximum of 5 people. Bear in mind though that most of the time a majority of cars are not at full capacity, usually carrying somewhere around 1 or 2 people. But we can just set that aside for a moment and say that that space is being used to transport 5 people. Let's compare this to a bus, specifically this bus. This is the Wright StreetLite DF, a model of bus commonly used by First in Swansea as well as other areas. There is a little bit of nuance here, but we can say that this bus is 10.8 metres long and seats 41 passengers at maximum. Bear in mind that there is extra capacity for people standing. We'll be as generous to the car driver as possible by rounding up to the length of 3 cars and say that within that space you could either fit 3 cars, which can transport a maximum of 15 people, or you could fit a single bus, which can transport a maximum of 41 people. Put like this, it's not difficult to see why buses are just better than cars. But it's not only buses, it's every other mode of transport. Cycling, trams, trains, and walking, and practically anything else you can think of, are all more efficient than driving. There's one other aspect to all this that I haven't mentioned yet, and that is a concept called induced demand. Essentially, people would take whatever form of transit is most accessible to them. If that's the bus, most people would take the bus. If that's a car, then most people would drive a car, and so on. I mean, sure, some people are unusually attached to their car, but the reality is that most people are just trying to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. When you put these two concepts together, something becomes very obvious very quickly. If the most accessible form of transit is the least efficient form of transit, then everyone will take the least efficient form of transit, and this is exactly how you get traffic. Finding exact data on this is difficult, but it seems like the average UK driver spends somewhere between 30 and 100 hours sitting in traffic every year. Imagine what you could be doing with that time if you weren't in traffic. But obviously, there are other downsides as well. For one, cars cause pollution of both air and noise. Okay, quick side note. I expect someone to start talking about electric cars as if they're the solution to everything. And the truth is, it's complicated. A not insignificant amount of air pollution comes from erosion of tyres and brake pads, rather than exhaust fumes. As for noise pollution, rolling noise caused by the interaction of tyres on the road can actually dominate over engine noise at speeds as low as 12 miles per hour. So yes, electric cars are better than petrol or diesel ones, but they're far from perfect. In any case, it goes without saying that pollution in either of these forms comes with health risks, like lung cancer, cardiovascular disease, and hearing loss. If you ever find yourself advocating for more parking spaces or an extra car lane, please just think about the fact that someone is probably going to contract cancer because of that decision. Of course, there's one other much more direct way that cars kill people: collisions. In 2024, 1,633 people were killed in car crashes across the UK. It's common sense that less cars would mean less fatalities from car crashes. I sincerely hope that I don't have to explain that or give references. Honestly, I don't really have anything else to say here other than to reiterate what I just said about pollution. Car-centric planning might make your daily commute slightly more convenient if you drive to work, but at this point, you're playing with people's lives. You really have to wonder, is it worth it? Swansea really suffers because of this car-centric planning. There are parking spaces crammed everywhere, busy roads cut straight through what should be the economic centre of the city, and other modes of transport are generally pushed to the side. The buses are infrequent, and that's assuming they arrive when scheduled, which they won't. I know I've been heavily implying some things in this video, but to be explicit, the solution to all of this is to deprioritise cars in favour of alternative modes of transport. That means adding bus lanes and bike lanes, it means removing car parking and adding bike parking, it means banning cars from certain streets. In general, cars should be forced to take the long way around, while other forms of transit can take shortcuts to get there quicker. There's one more reason that I haven't mentioned yet for why car-centric urban planning is bad. It just feels worse. I think that the place that has made the biggest impression on me in recent memory is the Isles of Scilly. It was beautiful and unique, or to use the proper academic terminology, it had a strong sense of place. A big part of the reason for this is that there were very few cars around, and cars are just not conducive to good places. Now, I know that Swansea and the Isles of Scilly are very different, but the same principle still applies. Less cars is exactly what Swansea needs. If you ask anyone what their favourite place in Swansea is, you're not going to hear about the Tesco's car park or stuck in traffic on Fabian Way. They're inevitably going to tell you about the places that are made for people first, not cars. Places like the parks, the walkable streets, the little cafe hidden down a side street. It's a pretty simple equation that building more places like this will lead to a better city. That's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching.